man, this was a lot of mathing. And I think I got pretty much right. Obviously, you know, some margin of error exists, right? Because a lot of it is chance, because you have to open a lot of random boxes to get the materials you need. But yeah, I think I figured out how much each armor piece costs. If you wanna whale on this game and don't wanna farm pretty much anything, you can kind of just buy the legendary armor from PvE with real money. Now there is a small caveat. Ancient coins, the achievements for the exotic armor for the collection, and map exploration, you're gonna have to do. But other than that, you know, like everything else you can pretty much buy with money. So what do I mean when I say everything else? I mean, here. So if you want to make an obsidian heavy breastplate, and this will technically be pretty correct for all of them, because the only thing that would change is you don't need pouch of stardust, you need, let's say, more clots, whatever, but I calculate them because as one entity, because they cost the same amount, right? So they all kind of cost the same in terms of rift essences, so they're all accumulated together. Okay, so everything else is pretty much the same. The only other thing is maybe the gift here changes. Most of the gifts are approximately 35 gold. So I just rounded them up that you need 2 gifts, approximately 70 gold. Another thing is lesser vision crystal. A bit annoying to get. You just need to salvage an ascended piece. Honestly, we did come up with ways to go about it on the stream, but that like you could use money for to get the ascended piece to then salvage it. But honestly, just Astral Vault it. Astral Vault provides 3 armors and 1 weapon, which should be enough. You know, for this piece, for 4 pieces total. Realistically, there are ways, but like they're grindy, so lesser vision crystal might have to work for it, as well as where was it? Cube of stabilized dark energy. This one you also might need to work for, right? Again, this is salvaging in an ascended piece. Pretty sure just any ascended gear. Yeah, right. So other than that, pretty much everything is you can buy with money. It's a lot more than I thought. If you care to take a guess, leave it in the comments below. And let's start breaking it down. I'm not going to go through all of this. I have a nice little list here that I already made. The Guild Wars 2 Whale Guide. Okay, if you want to be a whale. How to get legendary armor in Guild Wars 2 with only money, kind of, you know, with a caveat. A bit more than just money. Like, you do have to play some of the game. Alright, so these are the setbacks. Alright, so in total, how many rift essences do you need? You need, for the armor itself, for the first armor you craft, 3,500 fine rift essences, 1,400 master work, and then 700 rare rift essences. Okay, this is something that you have to keep after you're using the rift essences to buy everything else. Okay, so map currencies. So this is just, you know, you can see pitch of stardust, calcified gas, static charge. You need a certain amount of them. Each one, so each 10 of them, doesn't matter which one, so 10 of them cost 35 of each essence. Okay, so I just lumped these guys together and we went to using this data over here of the rift essences, right? So how many unlocked rift essence coffers to unlock in order to get how many rift essences. Then we use these statistics to do the math, Okay, so funny enough, the math here on the first one, without me giving even better instructions, was actually pretty much the same amount of math. So 456 unlocked Rift Essence offers is what you need to do to get enough Rift Essence to maintain 3500 fine, 1400 masterwork, 700 rare, and after buying the map currencies. Okay, again, give and take. Obviously this is RNG because it drops in a range, 25 to 50 fine, 5 to 10 rare, right? I think it's 10 to 25 masterwork, right? So yeah, there's like, again, it's using the statistics, so you get the point. So we use this to declare how much we need. Okay, so that's how many Rift Coffer Essences we need. Next, for the research notes, we used fast farming. Okay, so we used fast farming, and we just went for the potent potion of Sons of Svanir, which kind of translates 1-to-1. Okay, so you need 3,000 here, but also provisioner tokens that are unlimited trade, which you're gonna need 50 of them. That's another 15,000. So we basically needed 18,000 research notes, which came down to research notes. Let's see. I don't want to show you the whole calculation yet, you know. So Alright, where is the research notes? Encryption cost. Yep. Research notes. Okay, so we got this is the research notes. Okay, so in total it's this plus this, right? Which came down to 226 gold. Okay, so that's the total cost of the research notes. What is the cost for the coffers? Okay, so the coffers are approximately this much, right? So this is for the map currency and the Rift Essences, so you're going to need 3,330 gold approximately, and we calculate it at 7.3 because I try to buy 250 coffers to see what the where it ends up, and I would say the median of it, even looking like up ahead for the next 250, seemed about 7.3. Again, with take maybe 1 silver or half a silver off. Like, it's not, I don't think that's that big of a deal. It's just to give you an idea. Okay, so next on our list, all right, we had spirit shards. Now, how do you buy spirit shards? Well, that was actually a fun discovery for me, but apparently you can buy spirit shards with fractal relics. So if we look at fractal relics, okay, so if we look at fractal relics, there is this item called Dessa's Experimental Journal, which basically is 1 spirit shard. Okay, this just gives you a spirit shard. It costs 35 fractal relics and 10 silver, approximately, right? And then you also going to need obsidian shards. That's another 30 relics. Okay, so in total, per one, right? That's the price, and 1 silver. Okay, so we went to town using this research that people did on Reddit, which basically came down to about 20% chance for a fractal relic out of 5 encryptions. The other source we have is this. So if you opened 16,000, you get approximately 3,240, which is approximately 20%, right? Multiplied by 5, 15,000 plus a bit more than 1,000, right? Most of them basically showcase this. This is an outlier, right? 31 for 454. But like here we go, you have leet for 243, right? 27 times 5, 169, right? So it's kind of there, right? So I just assumed we are going to use it 1 out of 5. Again, you might be luckier, you might be a bit less lucky, but that's pretty much the math we did. Okay, very rough math. Okay, so here is the encryption calculation. So you will end up needing 19,650 encryptions and 9 gold. That was how many encryptions you would need to buy in order. And again, I don't think there's that many encryptions on the market. So technically, you're already kind of stuck there. But let's assume in a perfect world that you were able to buy it, okay? Right, that's not even the worst part. So that's for the encryption, right? So, okay, so where's the total cost of encryption? Okay, so you need encryption cost. So here we have the encryption cost. Okay, that would cost you already another 4,520. But wait, there's more. So this is just to buy the encryption. Okay, you also need to buy a key. The most realistic way to buy a key is to buy matrices. So the matrix, the key will cost you 7,133. Okay, this is by far your biggest expenditure. Like, it's not even close, but it's great. When I saw it, I was like, oh man, we're fucked. I was like, I thought an armor would cost like maybe like $100. Now you can already tell we're way past that. Okay, so once we have all of that, okay, we're gonna go into getting the spirit shards. Now spirit shards you need 50, but also you need mystic clovers, and we're gonna use the calculation for 1 mystic clover equals 3 spirit shards, 3 mystic coins, and 3 obsidian shards, and 5 ectoplasm. Why? Because honestly, it is probably the most reliable one. You can gamble and be very lucky in the mystic forge. You can, but it's very hard to like really tell the amount of that when you, and I'd rather take like a more solid number if I can help it, right? We already had enough RNG here. So in total you would need 83 right, yeah, 83 spirit shards. So that's basically, this covers it, right? So this is the 83 spirit shards and the, what do you call it, and the obsidian shards. Okay, I didn't even calculate the mystic coins, but it's basically just add 66 gold, and they're about 2 gold each. So like from the final price, just add 66 gold because it's just not in the details. Okay, other things you would need 2 gifts of whatever. Okay, so that's another approximately 70 gold. We can view here, gift of scales is about 35 gold, gift of blood is about 35 gold. Most of the gifts are about the same, some of them slightly pricier, some of them cheaper, right? But you know, we can average it out to approximately 70 gold. Okay, the other thing that was a big one is you need luck. You need 250 essence of luck exotic. And the best way that I saw, well, there are 2 ways, right? Which are equally as annoying to calculate. One is buying green unidentified gear, and it seems that if you do it properly, you actually can make a profit. So we can assume that 250 exotics could actually be free to get based on the chart that I saw. Okay, and but like you already have to have the infinite salvaging kits. The other one would be using ectoplasm. Okay, so we have the calculation for Ectoplasm. Let me find it real quick. So here's the calculation for Ectoplasm. So this is the data we're using. This was like one of the highest numbers, so I decided to use that. Probably going to be the most accurate. There's another one that is like pretty high up there, but this was technically higher, and also the first one I saw. So using this data, okay, we calculated how much it would take to create the luck, right? So we also said that you're gonna get crystalline dust out of it. This is how much luck. This is masterwork, mastermind. This is the rare, this is the exotic, this is the calculation for all of them, how many it takes, basically. Pretty sure, yeah, 2, yeah. Sounds right, yeah. This is 2, this is 4, this is 20, yeah, okay. Because it's 5, yeah, okay. Just making sure I didn't make a mistake. Okay, so, after it calculated, you would need 12,000, almost 500 ectos, but you will get 23,000 dust out of it, right? So with that knowledge, we used this, and in total it would only cost you 207 gold, basically, right? Of course you would have to do this first to sell the crystalline dust, to not have spent 12,488 gold, basically. To not have spent 2,747 gold out of nowhere, right? You only need to spend 207 if you sell the dust. Okay, the other calculations, okay, are as follows. Like stabilizing matrix, we use the calculation for 27.2 gold. The gift of condensed magic or might, we averaged it out. I averaged it out to 115 gold. Okay, the ectoplasm cost, right? The other cost of the ectoplasm, because you just need 755 ectoplasm, because you need it in total. 166 gold just for the, right? So like, you need some for the mystic clovers. You need some for the amalgam rift essences. You need 14, I believe, rift essences in total, right? And then you have 33, 11 clovers, so that's times 5 is another 55, so that's pretty much 755, right? Maybe I missed something somewhere, but that's the approximate amount. Okay, take everything here with a grain of salt, right? It's just like a nice rough estimate of how much money it would cost you. Okay, so then the total fractal relic cost, right, basically came out to 11,653 gold. Okay, so now knowing all of this, okay, our total cost, this is, by the way, this is per armor, this is not like for the whole set, this is per armor, is approximately 15,794.3 gold per one piece of legendary armor. I will round it up to just 800 to make it an easier calculation, so it's 15,800 gold. Okay, because it is an approximation, and once you get to these numbers, like a few gold pieces is really not that big of a deal. Okay, so here is the gem calculation. So for 158 gems, what happened here? So for 158, I'll just copy it, I guess. Okay, it's 619, which basically means for 15,800 gems, gold, you need basically almost 62,000 gems. 8,000 gems costs 100 gold, so 56,000 gems cost 700 gold. Dollars. Okay, 4,000 gems costs 50. 1600 costs 20, and 400 gems cost 5. Okay, so the total cost would basically be approximately $775 for one piece of legendary armor. Meanwhile, legendary weapons are about $80 to $100. Now, this is substantially more than I thought it would cost, and you still actually have to do some work. I am not sure if this is intended. I am all for it costing so much, because honestly, I believe you should want to work for your legendaries to make them mean something. But hey, if you want a whale and you make $100 an hour, I mean, 8 hours of work and is a lot faster than, you know, anything you can achieve in 8 hours of gameplay, right? Getting a legendary armor piece is about 1 to 2 weeks of work, assuming you can, like, you have the money as well, right? Because you need the gold to buy the materials that you can buy. I'm just talking about like the time gated stuff that are like, you know, like the essences are a bit hard to get. The, what do you call them? The map currencies are hard to get, right? You have to do the metas every day, right? So it's like the metas are like, let's say half an hour each, so that's an hour, 1.5 hours a day. You need to do it for 6 to 7 days, right? So that's already more hours than work hours. Now, obviously, if you're making a lot less than that, a lot less than $100 an hour, right? Like, yeah, this is not this is not realistic. But just so you know, yeah, you can kind of buy a legendary armor piece. Why did I make this video? Honestly, I was curious, and it was fun, a funny stream conversation. Yeah, we have some weird conversations sometimes. So yeah, this is the Guild Wars 2 whale guide. It's like, and now you know. Wee. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.